So thanks so much for doing this. We appreciate it. And again, what's your name?
My name is Megan.
Hey, Megan. And how old are you?
I'm 28 years old.
And where in the country do you live?
I live in Boston.
All right, Boston. Okay. What do you guys like to eat there in Boston? What's kind of the go-to food there?
I think the most popular food in Boston, it's well known for the North End and the Italian food. But
Mhm.
where I live in Boston, we've got a lot of different kinds of food. I have Italian places that I can walk to. I've also got um, Brazilian bakeries nearby. I have a Jamaican bakery. We've also got a really great Mexican place down in the town center. So there's quite a lot of different options, and I love to go to breweries and things too. So we've got a lot, but I'd say we're most well known for Italian food here.
Great. And what do you do for a living?
I work in the ed tech industry. I'm a product manager of accessibility for a cybersecurity organization. So I drive all the accessibility for the products and services across the organization. And as an organization, we make education in cybersecurity available globally so that folks can work in the cybersecurity industry or receive security awareness training, things of that nature.
Sounds fascinating. How long have you been using Menus for All?
I've been using it for, I want to say, like a couple of years now, because there's been a few iterations of it. But, you know, I love having the option of an accessible menu. So, especially like in the last year with all the work that's been done on it, I've been using it a lot more.
Great to hear. So what do you like doing when you're not at work at this amazing job that you get to be involved in?
I really like going out to concerts. I'm not really like a movies person, so concerts are my thing. I was at one this weekend. I do a lot of reading and listening to podcasts. I probably read 3 or 4 books a week. I also like to travel. My husband and I were just recently in Puerto Rico, and now we're counting down the days until we go to New Orleans. So, things of that nature. And I also mentioned before, I really enjoy like checking out breweries and wineries, things like that, learning how, the beer is brewed or the wine is made is one of our favorite things to do. So I like being out and about.
All right. Well, that kind of feeds into my next question, which what was the last book that you could recommend to us that you loved?
Oh, I am reading a great series called The Infinite Series by Jeremy Robinson, and the last book that I read in it was called The Dark. And it's a sci-fi series that involves like aliens, time travel, outer space, things like of that nature. So highly recommended if you're into like science fiction, and anything related to like aliens.
Okay. Let's see. Since you're a Menus for All user, what was the last thing that you ordered that was absolutely fabulous? That it was like, oh my God, I would not have known about this unless I'd had a menu that was fully accessible.
Oh, well, this weekend I went to a concert with my husband and my in-laws, and before that we went to a local brewery, and I used Menus for All to look at the menu in advance. So I ordered buffalo chicken tacos that were fantastic. And then I also ordered a new sour beer that they had. I forget the name, but it was made with like raspberry, pomegranate, and orange.
Mm.
Um, and I was able to pick those out kind of in advance and have an idea of what I wanted because I was looking at Menus for All while we were taking an Uber over there.
Can you name drop the name of that place that you went to?
Oh yeah, I was at Faces Brewing in Malden here in the Boston area. It's really good. My husband and I like to go there a lot, and we've been like with our families and everything. It's a great spot. They sometimes have concerts going on. They've got a rotating beer menu, and they rotate out some of their food menu seasonally as well. It's got a really good like vibe, and you can go there for like a date night, and it's really fun. You can see sports games there, but it's also like a pretty good place to go with the family. As I mentioned, like we went there with my in-laws, so it's a really good spot.
Amazing. So if I was to fly up to Boston on business or something, could you give me three places that I could get it something really great to eat that has an accessible menu for me?
Yes, Faces Brewing being one of them. I would say Fioritali, which is one of my neighborhood spots. That's an Italian place. Their menu is accessible and online. And let me think of the third place I would recommend going to. Uh, Probably I would tell you to go to um, Seasons 52, which is a little bit further outside of Boston. Although they have a couple locations in like different neighborhoods of Boston, like Burlington and Chestnut Hill. But those are like a few spots that we go around here that have some accessible online menus and can be available on Menus for All.
Fabulous. Thank you. Just as a takeaway at the end, do you have any interesting experiences you've had eating out, good, bad, and different, that you can share with us?
Yeah, most recently on Sunday, I had a great time going out to the brewery. Um, Something that's really like important to me when I go out is if I can't access the menu and I'm not with somebody who can read me a menu, that, I feel comfortable asking staff to read a menu to me, which even then can be really uncomfortable. If you go somewhere like, here's a bad example, unfortunately. If you go somewhere like the Cheesecake Factory where the menu is like 75 pages long, um, it can be really awkward to ask a server to read you like all of the headings and then read you some of the items like under those headings, especially when it's a huge menu. So that's why I prefer having the ability to like have an accessible version of the menu, because if I want to read all 500 items, it would be better for me to do that than have like a server stand there and read the entire time. So that's what I like about being able to use Menus for All, is that I can look in advance. I can look on the way there, or I can sit at the table, and while everybody else is perusing paper menus, I can read it. So I've had great experiences, like on Sunday when I went to Faces Brewing and I was able to use Menus for All and find it on there. And then I've had kind of weird experiences, like when I've been to Cheesecake Factory in the past. And I've been with like a group of friends who are also visually impaired, and we've had to ask a server to read us like dozens of menu items, which takes up their time and like slows things down for the other tables and the other folks that they're hosting, and things like that. So there's good and there's bad when you go out, but I guess it's really what you make of it too.
Right. And that there's always that awkward pause where you have to ask the waiter, what's the price on that? Isn't that like kind of weird?
It's uncomfortable to, I'm older now and I have a job, but like certainly when I was a younger person, um, like college age when you're going out with friends and everybody's splitting a check, it can be awkward if you're on like a college student budget to be asking them to read like all of the prices out loud because you're trying to figure out like what is within my budget. So it's kind of nice as well. To be able to look on Menus for All, especially when I haven't been somewhere before and I'm trying to gauge, is this place like average? Is it more expensive? Is it like really cheap to go out? I can kind of know that in advance and uh, know what I'm going to be planning to spend while I'm out. Or, similarly, the group thing, if I'm going out with a group, I can say like, hey folks, I'm recommending two places here. One is cheaper than the other. Like, this is the
Mhm.
general price range on entrees for this place, and here's the range on entrees for the other place. Like, if budget is going to affect your choice, like, please pick accordingly, things like that. So that's really helpful too. I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's definitely a factor for a lot of people when they go out.
Great, great. Well, then our last question is, how could we improve Menus for All for you?
Um, I wouldn't call it an improvement. One feature that I really like is that there's the favorite feature. I have a couple of places that I frequent, like Faces that I mentioned, and like places in my neighborhood. Um, so one of my favorite features is that I can favorite them. Um, if it ever becomes an option, I would love the ability to uh, be able to like export like a page of a menu. I know that sounds really weird, but
Hmm.
um, if I could export like a section of like entrees, or let somebody know, like I've had instances when I've gone out with my friends and we say, hey, we just want to have like some dessert and drinks, so I could send them like just the drink section and just the dessert section. I can certainly send them the restaurant on Menus for All, but I don't know if that was ever a feature that could be, exported as a text message or something that has like all of that available. That'd be cool. But I lean into the favorites a lot as a feature, because while I like to try new places, I have my go-tos.
Gotcha. Maybe there could be a share feature, maybe
Yeah.
not a download, but somehow to say, hey, this is the place I'm checking out, and you could send a text link or something. That I'm not sure the technology behind that, if we could pull it off, but we get the best ideas from our real users. So we appreciate your time, Meaghan.
Yeah.
So, and your ideas. This has been great. Thank you so much. And we'll say goodbye.
Thanks.